saw a strange sight. I stumbled upon a story most strange, like nothing my life, my street sense, my sly tongue could ever prepare me for. Hush, child, hush now, and I will tell it to you. Even before the dawn one Friday morning, I noticed a young man, handsome and strong, walking the alleys of our city. He was pulling an old cart filled with clothes, both bright and new, and he was calling in a clear tenor voice, "Rags!" Ah, the air was foul, and the first light filthy to be crossed by such a sweet music. Rags, new rags for old. I take your tired rags, rags. Now this is a wonder, I thought to myself, for this man stood 6'4", and his arms were like tree limbs, hard and muscular, and his eyes flashed intelligence. Could he find no better job than this, than to be a rag man in the inner city? I followed him. My curiosity drove me, and I wasn't disappointed. Soon the rag man saw a woman sitting on her back porch. She was sobbing into an old handkerchief, sighing and shedding 1,000 tears. Her knees and elbows made a sad X. Her shoulders shook. Her heart was breaking. The rag man stopped his cart, and quietly he walked to the woman, stepping around tin cans, dead toys, old diapers. "Give me your rag," he said so gently, "and I'll give you another." He slipped the handkerchief from her eyes, and she looked up, and he laid across her palm a clean linen, so clean and new that it shined. She blinked from the gift to the giver. Then as he began to pull his cart again, the rag man did a strange thing. He put her stained, dirty handkerchief to his own face, and he then began to weep, to sob as much as she had done. His shoulders began to shake. Yet she was left without a tear. This is a wonder, I breathed to myself, and I followed the sobbing rag man like a child who cannot turn away from a mystery. Rags! New rags for old! In a little while, when the sky showed gray behind the rooftops, and I could see the shredded curtains hanging out black windows, the rag man came upon a girl whose head was wrapped in a bandage, whose eyes were empty. Blood soaked her bandage. A single line of blood ran down on her cheek. Now the tall rag man looked upon this child with pity, and he drew a clean white bonnet from his cart. "Give me your rag," he said, and tracing his own line down her cheek, "I'll give you mine." The child could only gaze at him while he loosened the bandage, removed it, and tied it to his own head. The bonnet he sat on hers, and I gasped at what I saw, for with the bandage went the wound. Against his own brow ran a darker, more substantial blood. It was now his own. "Rags! I take old rags!" cried the sobbing, bleeding, strong, intelligent rag man. The sun hurt both the sky now and my eyes. The rag man seemed more and more in a hurry. Next he saw a man and he said, "Are you going to work?" The man shook his head. The rag man pressed him. "Do you have a job?" "Are you crazy?" sneered the other. He pulled away from the pole, revealing the right sleeve of his jacket, flat, the cuff stuffed into the pocket. He had no arm. "So," said the rag man, "give me your jacket, and I'll give you mine," with such quiet authority in his voice. The one-armed man took off his jacket, and so did the rag man, and I trembled at what I saw. For with the rag man's jacket and its sleeve went his arms, and the man had two new good arms, thick as tree limbs, but the rag man had only one. "Go to work," he said. After that, he found a drunk lying unconscious beneath an army blanket, an old man hunched, wizened, and sick. He took that blanket, and then he wrapped it around himself. But for the drunk, he left new clothes. And now I had to run to keep up with the rag man. Though he was weeping uncontrollably and bleeding freely at the forehead, pulling his cart with one arm, stumbling from drunkenness, falling again and again, exhausted, old, and sick, yet he went with terrible speed. On spider's legs, he skittered through the alleys of the city, this mile and the next, until he came to its limits, and then he rushed beyond. I wept to see the change in this man. I hurt to see his sorrow, and yet I needed to see where he was going in such haste, perhaps to know what drove him. The little old ragman. He came to a landfill. He came to the garbage pits. And then I wanted to help him in what he did, but I hung back, hiding. He climbed a hill, and with tormented labor, he cleared a little space on that hill. Then he sighed, he lay down, pillowed his head on a handkerchief and a jacket. He covered his bones with an old army blanket, and he died. Oh, how I cried to witness that death. I slumped in a junk car, and I waited and I mourned as one who had no hope, because I had come to love this ragman. Every other face had faded into the wonder of this man that I had cherished, but he died. I sobbed myself to sleep. I did not know. How could I know that I slept through Friday night and Saturday and its night too? But then on Sunday morning, I was wakened by a violent light, pure, hard, demanding light, slammed against my sour face, and I blinked. And I looked and I saw the last and the first wonder of all. There was the ragman, folding the blanket most carefully, a scar on his forehead, but alive, and besides that, healthy. There was no sign of sorrow nor of age, and all the rags he had gathered shined for cleanliness. Well then, as I lowered my head and trembling for all that I had seen, I myself walked up to the ragman. I told him my name was Shame, for I was a sorry figure next to him. Then I took off my dirty rags in that place that I was, and I said to him with yearning in my voice, "Dress me." He dressed me. My Lord put new rags on me, and I am a wonder beside him. The ragman, the Christ.